iReader is at it again, releasing the world's first 6-inch e-reader with Carta 1300. They were first to release 1300 on the X3 10.3-inch not too long ago, but now they've put the latest e-paper technology in the palm of your hands. This is the Neo 2. So let's start with the checklist. Does it have Android? Yes. Can you install your own apps? No. Does it come with Google Play? No, it doesn't. What type of device is this? This is an ebook reader, meaning that it is meant to read books, light audio processes, and outside of that, not much else. No note-taking, no games, just reading. This unit comes in at $239.99 USD. It's small, compact, and here to play as the first small screen unit with the 1300 tech on board. So let's check out the iReader Neo 2. Starting this up for the first time, you primarily do have English on iReader units. We aren't 100% as to whether this one has it or not because it is the latest unit, but it should because it does share with the rest of the iReader Neo line. To this very day, they still have not given us any indication on what that actually goes to, these 4-pin Poco pins, but we'll have to do a little bit more investigation as time moves on. Here is English. You click that, you click next, you skip over everything, and you get into the main screen. From there, you have the home screen. The home screen is split up into 5 major quadrants. The center, where everything's going to update, bookshelf, store, settings, and then the top bar. When you swipe down the top bar, you get a bunch of things here: global refresh, screenshot dark mode, lock screen, power savings, smart assistance. Global refresh is going to kick the whole thing in a full refresh, and clicking the top once more, we can get down to dark mode. Dark mode is system wide, and they do actually say that this is one of the things that makes their units different, although there are many manufacturers that use dark mode, so it's not exactly the pinnacle of innovation when it comes to e-readers like this. You have volume, brightness with your glow light, and you have the temperature control as well, so you can make it cool light or warm light or a mixture of the two. They have some presets, and I don't really like them because they dictate which ones you have to use, whereas custom is full custom. You also have the ability to go over to settings. Settings is where you can change a lot of the things from display, general, how much time you want in between your refreshes, and of course system and update. System and update also has about, storage and cleanup, and a bunch of other things. You can also kick this into developer options, but it is limited in terms of a traditional Android experience, as they don't give you the full ability to do everything you could do on your phone. You do also have Bluetooth on here as well for audio purposes, and we'll head over to the store really quick. The store we usually skip over because honestly there's not going to be anything here that will be appealing to the average person who is watching this video, i.e. someone from North America or an English-speaking audience. This is primarily going to be Chinese content only because that's what it is. You'll find some straggler content that is like an English version of something, but for the most part it's going to be all Chinese. I would just avoid the store, all things considered, because you can simply just sideload in your own content to your bookshelf, which will show you in a second. You can click here and go down a new folder, manage, cloud books, vocabulary sort, and display mode. Display mode can do grid, or it can do a list of everything. One final thing before we lead into some content, we have the floating ball that a lot of manufacturers use, from bigme to Onyx and everyone in between. This just has some quick key accesses, and you can collapse that on the side if you want to get rid of that, but for the most part you can turn it off or on in the settings menu. When it comes to applications, you do have apps on here, and you also have a manage apps and more apps that you can download, but you can't actually sideload in your own apps. We've put applications in the back end via our PC in every single file folder, and even if you go to File Manager, they don't show up anywhere. Even if you go to all files, they are not discoverable. So you cannot load in your own apps, which is a kind of a bad thing. It does hurt it a lot. You do have some apps, but you can't even uninstall them. For example, Evernote, all you can do is pin it. You can't actually get rid of it or sideload anything else, and you can't long press in the center to get any advanced settings. With that out of the way, you can utilize this to your own liking via sideloading your books. So we have a PDF here. It whips through pretty quick. Now remember, there are huge merits to Carta 1300 in that you get better contrast, better refresh, and it is kind of a jump above 12 and 1250. 1250 is earmarked for e-notes with note-taking latency issues, and 1200 is just the blanket previous generation that was utilizing the refresh technology. Now this one is significantly faster, significantly more easier to handle. Now, there is no downsides to using 1300. In fact, there's actually something silly they do with IMG 256, which iReader actually started using a lot earlier than other manufacturers. If you go here and you go to display and you go IMG 256, there's no reason to have it off. You see, if it's off, there's these grayscale divisions between the different colors. If you have it on, it's completely smooth. It doesn't use any more batteries, it doesn't make anything less visible, and it doesn't come at a detriment in any way. So you should always keep IMG 256 on. It doesn't make sense to ever turn it off. Lastly, we're going to look at a book, because that's what this is. This is an e-reader. It is not an Android multimedia device like an Onyx, Page, like a bigme, S6 color. That's not what we're dealing with here. This is just an ebook reader. As we said at the top of the hour, you have lots of ways to change your experience. Everything's in English, of course, unlike Hanvon that gives you English operating system, but all the settings are Chinese. This actually is in full English. You get notes, underline, copy, search, encyclopedia, share, and system dictionary. Not only that, you should be able to click the center and change the fonts. You get contents, notes, progress, and settings. Settings is where you're going to change all your stuff. You have Chinese script, you have font sizes, extra large, custom, and layouts. In terms of the contrast, it is the best you can possibly get on e-readers to date. It is as white as it's going to be and as black as it's going to be against each other. There will be no later, better technology than this currently. This is it. Carta 1300 with a small screen with 300 ppi pixel density, nice exposed sunken screen. This is the pinnacle in terms of visible display, not in terms of usability, functionality, bells and whistles like Google Play, but this is going to be the best. As per the date of this upload, it doesn't get any better than this. If your question is, oh, I'm going to scan around YouTube and see if there's anything better, there won't be, because this is it. I can't stress that enough, because 1300 is so new. Only 2 manufacturers are playing with it currently. iReader is one of them. Onyx is another one for their Chinese poke, but they won't let us review that one just yet because it is earmarked for the domestic Chinese market specifically, whereas this is an international release. Carta 1300 in the palm of your hand, 300 ppi, and great real-world usability makes this something to consider if you're looking to get something a little bit more flexible of a unit. However, there's no English ecosystem on board for content, you can't sideload in your own apps, and it's not the cheapest thing on the block, coming in at $240 USD. All things considered, there are more players in the e-reader scope now than there ever has been since e-ink's inception. It seems that every day that goes by, something new gets released. iReader is one of those companies that seemingly does everything first, color, latest screen tech, etc. But their international marketing presence is still a little bit lacking, as they are primarily a mainland Chinese domestic brand. If you want to grab one of these, details are down below.